Story 1. Whenever you talk about Ozempic or Mounjaro with obesity researchers, someone knowledgeable says that the GLP-1 medications we have coming in a few years make the current ones seem like a joke. Story 2. Growing new teeth, real teeth. One of our goals is to enable the growth of a third tooth, the tooth after the permanent teeth. Story 3. We are getting there with human immunodeficiency virus. Biktarvy was a trend in the right direction. It would be great if Cabenuva was better. We have had a few salvage drugs as well. Story 4. Antibody-drug conjugates. While not the most exciting thing listed here, they have a chance to revolutionize medicines. Instead of drugs that have a long list of side effects because of all the places in the body that they act, these will be able to deliver a dose of medicine more directly to the spot it is needed. For example, many people in the world cannot take cholesterol medications called statins because their body metabolizes the active ingredient too quickly to help. There is an antibody-drug conjugate close in development that will deliver a dose of a drug to the enzyme that causes this, disable it temporarily, allowing people to take statins for their cholesterol issues. Truly amazing stuff. Story 5. Not really scientific, but as an industry, the somewhat recent leaps forward in computing and data transfer are allowing us to build smarter, safer, more stable, and more flexible grid networks as we build new power plants and new substations. Remote monitoring has been in use for a while, but it was mostly used only to notify somebody at a control center if there was an issue. As a system, it couldn't utilize that data, evaluate grid stability, and do things like leverage battery energy storage systems to instantaneously respond to supply dips. That meant plants nearly always ran at higher supply than demand, and if they couldn't sell the excess energy, it resulted in lost operating costs. It's seriously changing how power works. Now encourage your politicians to support renewable energy retrofits in their communities. Story 6. Curing genetic disorders like hemophilia or sickle cell essentially at birth. Sickle cell has seen great results in treatment with bone marrow transplants, but hemophilia is having breakthroughs with gene therapy. Sickle cell is not far behind in gene therapy as well. Story 7. Mycorrhizal fungi and the benefits it can have. Bioreactive clothing, house brick and insulation substitute, food, and an alternative to some plastics. Even understanding the mycelium network will have benefits in biometrics. Story 8. Solid-state batteries, nuclear fusion energy, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, predicted medicinal compounds, 100% plastic recycling, efficient water desalination technologies, wireless quantum data transmission. To name a few, some of these are already here to some extent. The solid-state battery is my favorite one because of the personal convenience it will provide in a few years. Story 9. I still don't think most people realize we've scientifically solved obesity with glucagon-like peptide-1 drugs. Now it's an economic problem of access because most people can't afford an over $1,000 per month drug. But I hear in the news that there's pricing pressure since there is competition, so prices should fall. Story 10. Recently, a full map of all the neurons in a fly brain was completed. This is a major leap in neuroscience. The next step would be to do the same for mice and then humans. We will be much closer to fully understanding the complexity of brains. Story 11. Perfectly tasting protein-rich meat that is all generated in a lab and has never seen a live animal. Easier to produce and much less energy requiring than how we produce meat today. Story 12. Solid-state batteries are on the cusp of commercial production. Samsung is starting production within months. A 1,000-kilometer range and 5-minute recharge rates are possible with them. Story 13. There are a number of candidates for retroviral treatment of age-related hearing loss, as well as hearing loss caused by exposure to loud noise. There are 6 candidates in human trials, or to be more precise, 6 human trials that have been filed with the government. All of these are injected into the cochlea and cause the little hairs to regrow. The first chemical that was tried showed minimal success, but there are several more lined up behind it. I went deaf in one ear, literally overnight. I'm really hoping this could bring back enough of the hearing in my one ear that it would be useful. Story 14. Very new and convincing biological research is starting to oppose the reductionistic paradigm in biology and concludes that cells, organs, and organisms are more than the sum of their parts. So far, for animal experiments, It has produced tremendous results for cancer treatment and organ regeneration. Story 15. I think we will see great advances in gene editing technologies for chronic disorders and more general issues. While current treatment options only do what the name implies, treating symptoms of underlying problems, these new genetic technologies will fix the underlying genetic mutations that are causing the problem. That is an actual cure, not a treatment that tries to decrease the symptoms. Of course, these technologies will only be made for point mutation disorders at first, like the newly approved sickle cell therapy. But as time advances, we will be able to address multiple genome locations at once, enabling us to cure more common diseases that arise from the interplay of multiple mutations. The ultimate goal of this technology is to enable cognitive changes to make people more capable, but that is still a long way off. We could arrive there much sooner, but what seems to be the big issue is that scientists refuse to do gene editing research on cognitive traits. Their main argument for refusing the research is that it would increase social inequality because only wealthy people would be able to afford it, which is sadly true due to the commercialization of health in the United States. But there will eventually come a time when America manages to adopt the healthcare system of countries like Germany. When that time comes, the fear of genetic technology only being available to the rich will dissipate, causing progress in cognitive gene editing. Should that prediction come true, there will be a time in the future when everybody will have the cognitive traits, including problem-solving abilities and also social intelligence, needed to succeed in life. Story 16. Scientists realize that you can't have a functioning society with only artificial intelligence. You need to offset the intelligence and balance the equation with digital idiocies. This will keep systems from being too complex and allow human minds to stay fresh by reducing dependence and maintaining human skills. Story 17. The age of the universe is wrong. The James Webb Space Telescope is seeing massive galaxies and black holes that cannot exist if the universe is only 14.7 billion years old. Cosmologists are not sure what the actual age is, but most are now being forced to consider that 14.7 billion is incorrect. Look up Crisis in Cosmology if you would like to know more. Story 18. Solid-state batteries, even to the point where we figured out semi-solid-state batteries, are still a huge leap. Imagine not having to charge your cell phone for a week. Story 19. Quantum computing is a huge breakthrough we are close to, and it could revolutionize everything from encryption to drug discovery. It is like upgrading from a horse-drawn carriage to a Ferrari for solving complex problems. Story 20. We will invent the anti-telomerase molecule that will halt the breakdown of telomeres, which causes genetic degeneration leading to aging. With this molecule, humans will live longer, get rid of cancer, and stop heart attacks. When humanity invents this great molecule, no one will be against science anymore. Story 21. Harnessing fusion energy reactors and our ability as humans to keep this process alive to reap the endless energy we need for all we do on Earth just by using water as the fuel it needs. Game over for all the fossil fuel operators. Story 22. Bacteriophages are a type of virus that exclusively attacks bacteria and could be a solution to the antibiotic-resistant issue that has been plaguing medicine for years. Story 23. Currently applying for my first patent. It's a solar condenser. Strangely, I haven't been able to generate any interest from businesses or government agencies, although the patent office did like it enough to give it a nickname, so I guess that's cool enough. I should probably let it go and move on to something else. Story 24. Silicon anode batteries could be one of the most transformative breakthroughs in energy storage. Enovix is leading the way by developing batteries that use a silicon-dominant anode, which can store significantly more energy than traditional graphite anodes, although Amprius also has some similar working technology. This could mean longer-lasting batteries for everything from smartphones to electric vehicles, solving one of the biggest limitations of current lithium-ion technology. If they can scale production and manage challenges like silicon expansion during charging, this innovation could reshape the future of energy storage and accelerate the adoption of renewable energy. Enovix's breakflow technology is another key innovation that is helping to make silicon anode batteries safer and more reliable. One of the challenges with advanced lithium-ion batteries, especially those using silicon anodes, is the risk of thermal runaway, which can lead to overheating and even fires. Brake flow is a built-in safety mechanism that acts like a circuit breaker within the battery. If a short circuit or overheating occurs, brake flow slows the flow of energy, preventing the rapid escalation of heat and maintaining battery integrity. This is a game changer for high-energy density batteries, as it allows NVIDIA to push the boundaries of performance without sacrificing safety, making it ideal for applications like electric vehicles, smartphones, and wearable technology. Story 25. Not a breakthrough, but a question. Has science figured out seborrheic dermatitis yet? It's ridiculous that I've had it for 20 years and no one is anywhere close to figuring out exactly what it is with certainty, let alone the causes, triggers, and definitely not any treatment. At this rate, I'm over the scaly scalp, the itchiness, the unsightliness. I'm just annoyed with the, "oh, your skin is very dry" conversations. Story 26. Potentially how we understand and potentially screen for sudden infant death syndrome. Just had my first child. So this is awesome news. Story 27. There are papers that calculated the possibility of faster-than-light travel. It might be possible that we see the start of the development in our lifetime. Boeing is still researching plasma shields for defense and claimed a patent 10 years ago. We might see this in reality in our lifetime too. Time travel is theoretically possible, and there is experimental proof that quantum entanglement can not only be used for faster-than-light communication but also has a predictive effect. Fun fact for fans of the three-body problem: gravitational force could be used for communication. We don't know yet how to produce it quickly, but there is information available for those interested in how much gravitational force a ladybug would have. I'm not actively following these matters, but I hope the rabbit hole isn't just a labyrinth of falsehoods. If something is disproven already, I am sorry. Please let me know so I won't post inaccurate information. Story 28. We're getting pretty darn close to artificial general intelligence. And from that will come tremendous other scientific breakthroughs like life extension, fusion, cancer cures, and so on. Story 29. The quantum coil is a new invention. It is a coil based on one quantum particle in a circular path that can adjust the magnetic field. It can also build the quantum dynamo and the quantum inductor. Story 30. Fusion energy. It's not talked about much outside certain circles, but if we crack it, it could mean virtually limitless clean energy. Some recent advancements have been super promising. Story 31. New cancer treatment anti-PD-1 anti-VEGF. If the data holds out between Chinese trial and the US trial, it will be a game changer. Most big biotech and pharmaceutical companies are already making deals to get this compound. Story 32. Nanotechnology so small that people never thought it would ever be possible to create. NVIDIA is taking the lead with their chips. Imagine what's already out there in secret. Story 33. Fusion. The joke is something like fusion is 20 years away and always will be. However, advances in theory and materials are bringing us closer and closer. Plus, there is finally money going towards it. Fusion will be like flight. We went from the Wright Flyer to space in a few decades. Once we reach real break-even, things will proceed at incredible speed. Story 34. The discovery that vaccines actually do work and save lives comes at the cost of hundreds of dead children. Getting your medical information from social media can be deadly.